This is insane that I'm here. I walked in this room and I was like, why am I even here? I'm here for quite possibly the dumbest reason. It involves a cell phone. And you know, we all have cell phones, obviously. It's like another part of our body. When we don't have it, then we feel lost without it. But this cell phone right here became so much more than just a cell phone to me. It became a golden ticket to like the craziest adventure that I've ever been on. Something that I'm telling you that you couldn't make this thing up. It's just crazy. My story begins when I'm out looking like that. I was out in the East Village drinking my happy hour wine. Ooh, is that growing up? There we go. This was the place where it happened. This is the magical place where the story begins. So I'm having a good time. I do what everyone does. I put my phone down on the table, and I look up, and it's gone. And I'm like, where's my phone? I have everyone turn up the entire bar. I ask the bartenders, and of course, I have everyone call it. But it goes straight to voicemail, which everyone knows is the international sign of phone death. But that phone was gone. So I went out and I bought a new phone the next day. Everything's fine with that phone, except a year later, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm looking for something on Instagram or something stupid like that when I see all of these pictures in my photo stream of there's a woman on a motorbike. There's like a picture of a storefront. It's all like really industrial looking, like kind of creepy. And this was at the time when Sony was hacked by North Korea. So I was like, well, that's it. North Korea hacked my phone. That's it. What can I do now? There are pictures of fireworks. And the weirdest thing of all, where there were dozens of pictures of a man taking selfies with an orange tree. It was like the weirdest thing. And so I let it happen for a few weeks, and it became kind of like my go-to conversation starter to people. I'd be like, yo, you got to check out these pictures on my phone. It's crazy. I have no idea what's happening. North Korea hacked my phone. And so I told a story to one of my friends, and he said, did you lose a phone recently? And I said, a long time ago. I can't even remember when. And he said, well, you know, most stolen iPhones end up in China. And I was like, boom, that's it. My phone is in China. I go to the Apple store the next day, and sure enough, my iCloud was still logged in. So he was getting my pictures, which is terrifying, and I was getting his pictures. I felt like Scooby-Doo. Like, I solved the mystery. That's it. My phone's in China. That's the end. Except it wasn't. So a little bit about me. I work for the website Buzzfeed. I've worked there for almost 8 years now. I started when we were just 10 employees in a cockroach-infested office in Chinatown. And I've had some cool opportunities along the years. I've been able to interview some like famous cats, like Grumpy Cat, which is pretty cool. I literally taught Madonna how to use a computer. She like didn't know how. One of my proudest moments is I've held a protest when Ryan Gosling wasn't voted the sexiest man alive, which I'm still bitter about. Bradley Cooper won that year, but that's just not true. And then the scariest thing that I've done is actually I've gone to a bunch of Donald Trump rallies this year where I met this actual man who has a Donald Trump tattoo. It's crazy. So I work at Buzzfeed. I'm telling this story to everyone, and I'm like, you know what? I should just write it down. I should just make a Buzzfeed post on it and call it a day. So I wrote this post. Who is this man, and why are his pictures showing up on my phone? Where I basically just posted all the pictures and explained the story that I just told to you. I thought that was it. Story over. This is done. Cool. Except it wasn't at all. Then I became famous. I wake up the next morning to all of these tweets from people in China telling me that they're helping me find the orange man. And so by now, the Chinese internet had translated the story and put it on their version of Twitter, which is called Weibo. I was literally the #1 trending topic. Like, it's all Chinese, and then it's like, Matt Stopera, what? And then I don't know if you know anything about the Chinese internet, but it's insane. And they call it the human flesh search engine, which means that they can find anyone. And sure enough, they found him. And so this is the man that they named Brother Orange. Brother in China is kind of a term of endearment, and orange because of all of the selfies that were taken, or that he took. So then what happened next? Everyone was like, you need to join Weibo and start talking with Brother Orange. I'm like, what is going on? So I do it, and so we start talking on Weibo. And so this is Brother Orange, and he's telling me, oh, I can teach you how to use Chinese chopsticks. And then I'm sending him messages that are like, oh, it's cold here. Like, I don't even know what's happening right now. This is my life at this moment. And then he invites me to go to China. And so I'm like a dumb American. This is the images we see of China in the media. You know what it is? It's like the US and China are at war. China is filled with smog. It's such like a scary place. We're going to go to fight. And then my favorite is, of course, Donald Trump, my friend. If you've seen that video where he's like, China, 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 China. It's just one view of China that we see in the media. So I was kind of nervous. I was like, I don't know what to expect. I don't want to be bugged. I don't know. China's scary. But, of course, I went, and I had to go. So my journey to China was pretty uneventful. It took like 20 hours. Brother Orange is from a small Chinese city called Meizhou, and by small Chinese city, I mean 4.5 million people, which is bigger than Los Angeles. It's relatively unknown even within China, this place. It's in the south. And so nothing really happens on the plane ride except this one teenager comes up to me, and she starts freaking out. Oh my God, are you Matt? And I'm like, what, me? You noticed me? Like, that's never happened to me before. I've never been noticed before. But I was like, whatever. She asked for my autograph. I take a selfie with her. I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. What's happening? So I get off the plane, and I go to the escalator, and that's when everything changed. I thought that Brother Orange's uncle was going to be picking me up, and so he was going to take me to Brother Orange's hometown. That was not the case at all. I honestly, even when I see this stuff now, I just can't even believe it happened. Look at my eyes in this picture. That's how I felt. So, needless to say, I was very surprised and caught off guard. For the next 7 days, we toured his hometown, and we were followed by paparazzi everywhere we went. We drove around with cars with our faces on it. I was like, that's me, that's you. What's going on here? We rode bikes, and there's a little baby orange in there if you can't tell. We chipped at statues. We held babies. I felt like part politician, part Katy Perry. I was like, what is going on? The most awkward thing was we took a mud bath together. I don't know if you've ever been photographed taking a mud bath. We picked tea leaves. We had a press conference. I didn't know any of this was going to happen. Of course, we drank a lot. And one of the weirdest things was people would put products in front of me and just take pictures. So I'm pretty sure I endorsed all of these brands. But I was just like, well, whatever. I saw some really cool, beautiful places that I didn't know existed. Of course, Titanic pose. And I mean, you can see, bro is cool. He's a really chill guy. I was like, I don't know what this guy is going to be like. You guys saw his selfies. He looked so serious and scary. I was like, oh my God, he's going to be, I don't even know. But we really kind of forged this bond. I like to say that friendship is basically just, you make your friends based on the shared experiences that you have. And as you can see, we shared a lot of crazy experiences. And people always are like, well, how do you communicate? And it's like, you can do a lot with nonverbal. And wait, I just have to say too, we are complete opposites. He is a middle-aged man, by the way, and he has 4 kids, which is crazy in China. That doesn't happen. He owns a restaurant. And I, meanwhile, am 28 years old, live in New York City, write for Buzzfeed. We couldn't be more opposite, but we were just having so much fun going around, and of course we took selfies with the actual orange tree that kind of started this whole thing. On the last day was kind of the day where everything changed. So you saw there was people following us around everywhere we went, and it got kind of exhausting. Like, now I understand what it feels like to be like Lady Gaga and be like followed around all the time and be like, no more pictures, no selfies. And so he kind of got rid of all those people. He was like, you guys need to leave right now. Today is just going to be about me and Matt. So we went to his hometown and we climbed his childhood tree. And then we had like a ceremony for his ancestors, which was really interesting. And I don't know about you guys, but like the way that I treat my ancestors were, you bury them in a grave and then you just leave them there forever. And so it's like, oh, that's kind of not cool. And so he kind of like taught me this new thing where it's like, you know what, we honor our ancestors here. That's just like, I don't know, it just was like so cool to have that different perspective. And so we really became friends by the end. It's kind of like the most bizarre relationship ever. And I just remember sitting there and we're in the back of the car, literally like a Hollywood movie. Like, this looks like a movie. And, we had tears in our eyes because we had just gone through this like kind of crazy thing. And so we're standing there in the airport, and it's one of those things that happens where he was at the gate. It's like Love Actually or something, and he's like waving until he can't see me anymore. And it was just like, I couldn't believe it. It was like, because of a stolen cell phone, this entire thing happened to me. And so usually I end the story right there, but people are always like, well, what happened next? And so I'll tell you what happened next. Of course, Brother Orange came to America. So this was a few weeks after, and we had the amazing experience of going on the Ellen show, which was crazy. Meanwhile, he had no idea who Ellen was. I was like, come on, bro. And it was so cool because I got to do kind of the same things that he did for me. So in China, I was eating snake and parts of pig I didn't know existed, and I introduced him to margaritas and chips and guac, two of my favorite things, which were two of his favorite things as well, which just shows that we're basically like the same person. I introduced him to his family, to my family, and I introduced him to my personal hero, Britney Spears, who we met in Las Vegas. So where does that kind of leave me with this whole thing? I had this talk with Brother Orange before he came to America. I was like, are you nervous to come to America? And he said, yeah, I'm a little nervous, because he kind of saw the same stuff in the media, where it's like, I think that Americans are really aggressive. America gets in wars all the time. Americans must be really aggressive too. And obviously when you have this idiot saying stuff too, it's obviously not good for countries. So what do I want to do with all of this? I want people to not look, I know it like kind of sounds cheesy, but not look at like countries as kind of the image that you see them in the news, like China or America. It's like actually go to the place and meet the people, because once you go and actually meet the people, you get to know the actual country and what the people are like. Because at the end of the day, like kindness, and my favorite thing, food, they're all like cultural like values that we can all relate to. And that, my friends, is my story. Thank you.